Hi, I'm Rob. It's garage time. Hey everybody, welcome to the garage. We're out here today. It's a dismal and chilly and rainy October day. And what I'm doing today is I'm preparing to modify the 1-ton engine stand so that I can make the engine stand nest fully into my 1-ton engine crane, allowing me to more safely remove the engine from the stand. If you watched episode 11, you will have seen this segment, that the little short segment called the 1-ton engine stand fail, wherein I discovered that I was not able to get the engine onto the 1-ton stand successfully because of the configuration of the legs of the crane and the stand interfering with each other. After getting the engine out and putting it on the 750-pound Summit stand, I thought about it for a bit, and I thought that, oh, well, the arms in the crane are like this, and the arms in the stand are like this. I bet they engineered those so that they would nest together. You could back the stand into the crane, and they would fit, and then you could lower the arm of the crane and pick the engine up and pull the stand away and get it out of the way so that you could get the engine off the stand. That's not the case. They don't actually nest together really very well at all. But in my attempt to make that happen, I realized that I could make some modifications to the engine stand and be able to get the engine on and off the stand without doing anything super sketchy. I did make one modification to the stand already. Let's see that. It's cell phone video, it's cell phone audio. I'm shooting in 4K 30 right now on my GoPro 7. This is also a test of the GoPro 7 to see if the new batteries help with the camera freezing problem. Hopefully, this video hasn't frozen. But let's watch that first bit of modification to the engine stand so you can see what I did, okay? Roll video. You saw in episode 11 that Cody and I failed getting the XK6 onto the 1-ton engine stand, and you will notice that the 1-ton engine stand is upside down right now, and I've got a plan after thinking it through a bit. And what I'm going to do is take that caster off, cut it, reposition it, drill 2 new holes, take this caster off, cut it, reposition it, drill 2 new holes, and then put it back on the ground, and we'll endeavor to make the engine go onto the stand. And now, the masking tape trick for nut retention. Ta-da! Ta-da! Let's do some cutting. So here we have the infamous and ever wonderful, as I'm so fond of saying, 1-ton engine stand. It would not fully nest into the crane because the arms on the stand interfere with the arms on the crane. So even though this back end here is narrow enough to nest fully into the back of the crane, I can't get the head back far enough to simply just shove the engine off of the stand and then move the stand out of the way without having to jack everything up to pick the stand up off the spigot. Yeah, we'll say it's maybe 2 to 3% risk. I really don't think the crane's gonna fall over when I do that, but it's a pain in the butt and I don't wanna have to do that. So my plan is let's do this first, because this will make life easy for me. Boom. There's one leg, and then pull the other arm off. He's going to bevel the arms, you say? No, I'm not gonna do that. Can you even see me? Barely. No, you can't see my head, can you? Now you can. No, what I am going to do instead is take the entire head, stand head, move it back here, and then make an angled brace that will go from somewhere along the head, angling down, and leaving enough room so that I can fully invert the engine so that I can get at the bottom of it. And the other thing that I'm going to do is weld this thing. This thing's going to get welded together. I'm not going to bolt it. This is going to get welded to here, and then whatever bracing I have is going to get welded. I'm going to have to add a tube in here. So let's get us an impact gun and a wrench and take the head off of the stand. One of my favorite tools. I have to measure, I got to cut a piece of tubing, I have to grind the paint off of this thing so that I can successfully weld it, and then we'll move forward with this particular tool modification. It is a chilly and brisk October evening out in the garage, but it's time to fire up the Martian death ray and make some sparks fly. There we go. That looks about right. Gonna just eyeball the center line of the circle and go like so. On this side, eyeball the center line of the circle and go whoop. That. That's going to get cut there. I take this one and just kind of eyeball it in between those bolt holes and there. It's a lovely day in the neighborhood today. A couple days later, I've got this lovely piece of 2 by 4 by 120 wall rectangular tubing. It's cut to length. It's you saw me hammer it in between the two legs of the between these two bars on the base of the engine stand. And what I got to do now is make it even, because it's not quite even with the top surfaces right here. And I want it to be so that when I weld that top stanchion here, it will sit flat on this piece, and then whatever brace I make can come down, and I won't have to massage it too much to get it to weld to that. So let's get out my hammer, give it a few bops, try not to hurt my fingers. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks real good. Cool. Okay, let's weld this up. There we go. Ready? Fire in the hole. There we go, yay! Now we gotta grind this one down. Oh no, that one. What am I talking about? Gotta grind this one down so that the main vertical arm will sit on there nice and flat. Let's break out the grinder! Ah. Grind a pound for me, as they say. That looks pretty good. Check for flatness. Yep. Perfect. But was he really? This is one of my favorite, another one of my favorite tools. So many of my tools are my favorite tools. Hey, wait a minute. Oh. Yeah, I just bought this today. Belongs in the back pocket. So these are the quick grip kind of clamps. I really like them. They're super easy to use. But they have rubber pads, and so they're not great for welding. In fact, they are not, I won't use them for welding because, of course, you'll melt the rubber pads. But what they are really great for is doing stuff like this, where, let's make sure we put it on the right way. Line it up with the bolt hole marks. There we go. And then I can do this. And then I can take my big old 6-inch metal C-clamp, which is welding friendly. Yeah, you guys are, I'm sure this is really exciting to watch. Put that one on like, this one on like so. The clamps look pretty great. It's on there nice and tight. It's ready for welding. Let's fire up the welder and make some more sparks fly. I got to make a brace for this thing, and I want it to go kind of where the bolt hole was that attached the back straps to here. And the other thing that I have to do is make sure that I've got enough space this way that I can tip the engine upside down. And what I was able to determine that 17 inches from the bottom edge of the head, which is right about here. Here I need to have about 5 inches of clearance. And that puts it right about there where I've drawn that line. And what I did was I took this piece of 1/8 inch 1x8 aluminum strap, which is a pretty good material for making templates out of. And I applied it right here, and then I squeezed it right here, and then I took my Sharpie and I made some marks. Right there and right there, to mark the miters that I'm going to have to make on this piece. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking my protractor and I'm going to measure this. Measure this bottom angle. Oh, wait a minute. that's wrong. Doing it the wrong way, of course, because I can. Why would I do it the right way if I could do it the wrong way? And we find out that it is 73 degrees. And then all we have to do, take this one, because this is the one with which I will transfer the marking. This is a Starrett variable protractor. And this was owned by my Uncle Carl, who was a machinist at a big abrasives company in Worcester that was called Norton Abrasives, but now is called St. Gobain. They bought them out. I inherited this, and it's one of my favorite tools. I say that a lot, don't I? So we take this to 73 degrees, and then mark this, 73 degrees, boom. And then we take the variable protractor and we transfer the measurement on the protractor to the chop saw table by the simple expedient of, come on, looks good. This is what I did. I slit the inside edges, then slit them across and banged it in with a hammer. That looks pretty all right. Now let's grind the paint off and then we can weld it up. Brace and that looks pretty good. Yeah. I love it when a plan comes together. So let's take this, and we're gonna squeeze it on there. There. We're ready for some welding. All right. I'm gonna crank the voltage down a little bit. There. I pronounce the 1-ton engine stand modified for use. Cool. And as much as I would like to paint it and put it back together and get the engine back on it tonight, that's going to have to wait until tomorrow. Off we go then. Hey everybody, it's 2 days later actually. As you can see, it's a bit of a dismal, cloudy, foggy day, but it's not actively raining, so I will be able to move things out of the garage and continue mission on the engine stand. Let's go make that happen. It ought to be fun. Here we have the modified engine stand, giving it a nice coat of paint. This is Rust-Oleum Royal Red, although I always call it Rust-Oleum Arterial Red. Here we have Fire Engine Red, the original paint. And here we have the Arterial Red. It's even dripping. That's, I pronounce that done. So what we got to do now is move some stuff out and clear space, and then reassemble the engine stand. And then put the engine on it. Yeah! one arm. One for you. There we go. Perfect. Look at that, will ya? Okay, let's drag the crane out, pick up the engine, and see if we can jam that thing in here. Cool. Hey, check this out. I can pick up the end of the engine myself. Try not to get underneath the engine. This is a critical lift after all. We are into the nesting as far as we can go. This is back here. Look at that, will ya? Oh yeah. There we go. Cool. Perfect. That's exactly how I wanted it to work. Put the first safety through. So that. Ta-da. And then punto final. Yeah, well, we don't need that on there anymore, do we? Well now, let's drag you over here so everybody can view the majesty of my handiwork. Looks pretty good. Yes, it does. Now, I'm not sure if this thing is still rated for 2,000 pounds with this modification, but it's certainly beefy enough for any engine that I'm going to put on here, which of course includes the infamous and ever wonderful Jaguar XK6, and who knows what else it might wind up on here. A four-banger of some sort, a V8 of some sort, I think, is in this thing's future. But the stand worked. I can nest it in the crane and get the spigot into the head of the stand pretty easily without too much issue. I don't have to do anything crazy like jack the whole thing up and then shove the whole thing forward to drop it down in between the legs of the crane. So once again, I believe I consider this a success. So as always, I thank you for watching, and please do like and subscribe, and I will see you around the channel.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, my daddy, he raised stock cars a long, long time ago at New England's fastest quarter mile, doing old Westboro Road. He and Mom would rally around in their MGTD, but they bought a Porsche 356 to hear my mom and me. I was raised by gearheads, this apple fell not far from under Daddy's tutelage, messing around with cars.